Alrighty. How's it going, guys? Captain Kuba here. Welcome to another members hangout. Like I said a couple of weeks back, I decided to do at least one of these a month, you know, because it's kind of hard having talk about God of War every single week. Oh, like poor me, it's so hard to talk about my favorite series ever, right? But what I mean is, like, it's hard to like come up with new topics every week, right? So I decided to push this to like at least once a month, with the exception of like if there's some new stuff that we gotta talk about. And I feel like today kind of falls into that latter category. Ladder? Yes. Whereas like we have some things to talk about because there's been some rumors. So yeah, how are you guys, first of all? How are you guys? Exactly 3 minutes late, giving my hack silver. You guys are now betting. You guys are now betting on how late I'm going to be. That's nice. That's nice that at the very least I'm reliable in that sense, that, you know, people can count on me being a little bit late. So yeah, actually I woke up like way ahead. I think I have to move here. Let me see. Yeah. I actually woke up at 7 because I had to you know, make breakfast for the wife as she goes to work. So I was ready and I was preparing stuff. I actually got a bit of a presentation because I noticed that I tend to just ramble on, like I'm doing now. I just tend to ramble on. What's that cat doing? She's going to sleep. I tend to ramble on, so I'm like, I better just kind of have like a timeline of things that I want to talk about, so I don't get lost, because there's a lot. This whole thing with Faye is getting kind of crazy, and yeah, we're gonna get to that. But you know, I'm first like talking to the chat here a little bit. You know, it's not even confirmed. It's a Faye game. Okay, Blood. All right, Blood. Technically, no, it has not been confirmed yet. But part of this Captain Kuba presentation, like the first part of it, is going to is I think going to provide the best proof possible for why I think this is a real thing. Okay, because it's just. It's hard not to think about it being real. Okay, it's hard at this point, you know. It's an Order 1886 sequel. You know it, man. It's gonna be insane. If you guys make fun of me, but I think there's some chance. There's some chance there, you know. It's a Tyr and Faye game. It's something weird. It's something weird if we're led to believe the current rumors, you know. But can you add Primal New Game Plus to your schedule? Of course. We gotta add Primal again. Primal is never gonna die. Primal has had it's funny, Primal has had like a huge shelf life on like this channel's discussion. Like, it's just people are still talking about Primal. And anyway, don't worry about that. Tyr and Faye gameplay peak. The thing is, it's not as clear as that. If we're led to believe some rumors that have just come out, it's not going to be as simple as a Faye and Tyr game. It's something else. It's something weird. But okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, bro, this is bullying at this point. Blood, I told you, man. I mean, you've done a good job in just kind of like ignoring them, like post Primal playthrough, but you kind of gave yourself up for it, like during the playthrough. You know, it's like, yeah, he's getting a little bit too triggered, and the internet loves that. The internet loves when that happens, you know. So I'm really sorry that's happening, bro. I'm really sorry. But okay, Flasher, what's up, Flasher? How you doing, man? Wait, there's rumors that I haven't sent you. I'm behind. Oh, I don't know. No. I think you did. You know, we're gonna talk about the whole thing, because like that's the thing. Like the rumors themselves. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start. I got the background music going on, like, for the first time ever. Sorry if Typhon's theme is gonna get old to you guys, but that's what I got going on with you, with this whole thing. So why am I starting with an Uncharted image? It's kind of puzzling. Like, what the fuck am I doing with an Uncharted image here? It's a God of War stream, right? Well, we gotta start, because like the first part of like what we need to talk about is like this whole like new cycle of rumors that have been going on. And they're kind of getting crazier. For one thing, today the original rumor was that we were going to get a state of play. And I think Nate the Hate said it, like a bunch of people who would we consider reliable, right? said that today we were going to get a PlayStation State of Play, but it seems that, look, I know that PlayStation usually has a State of Play around this time of the year, so I think the rumors are true. They were probably just a little bit wrong about the timing, and it's probably going to be next week. Wasn't there another rumor that Xbox was going to have a showcase as well? Like, there were rumors that a lot of State of Play like shows were going to converge on the same day, and that was going to be today, but I don't think any of them has happened. Can anyone check IGN for me? I don't think IGN or another news outlet. I don't think anyone is having a showcase right now. If they do, just tell me, right? But you know, one of the big rumors was about Uncharted, and I do want to talk about this a little bit because, look, I love God of War. Yes, no, I like God of War, but I like other games, and Uncharted is like, used to be at least like second, right underneath God of War. Like, it'd be my go-to like action adventure game. I loved it. I love Nathan Drake. I love the adventures. I love the treasure hunting aspect of it. And there's been some rumors that Naughty Dog is not completely done with Uncharted yet. What that means, we're not entirely sure, because the guy who's supposed to be directing this game is the guy who directed Lost Legacy, right? He took a picture of him somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't know exactly, when Trinidad and Tobago or something. I don't know. And the thing is, like, the image he posted of like, oh, we're doing research for the next game, kind of hinted at as this being probably an Uncharted 1 remake, which I'm okay with, but just a plain remake, it's like, it's not as exciting because it's just like, okay, you're just going back. You're doing the same thing you did with The Last of Us. You're just like re-releasing this game, right, with better graphics, right? But I think I'm even less excited about a sequel to Uncharted 4, where you're going to play as Cassie Cage with Nathan Drake as a companion character. We're going to talk about companion characters a lot today. Man, I look so weird without a beard. Oh my god. I need to grow it back. It needs to come back. But anyway, what was it? 2018 and Raggy will get recontextualized, says Square Nation. Probably something like that. But we'll see, you know. Honor BU Filthy Peasants. What is Flasher up to? That's always a question. What is Flasher always up to? The point is, I am worried about that this is going to be just an Uncharted 5 and you're going to be playing as Cassie Drake, and his it's that whole thing with Atreus where it's like, I just don't care about these companion characters, you know. They always start off like so good. Like, these series always start out so good, and then they try to convince you to play as like this companion character. It's happened in PlayStation games. It happens constantly, and it's got to die. It's got to die. Love those lips. Now that I'm thinking about it, receding hairline. I'm not sure about those lips because they're a little bit cracked. My wife Kona always makes fun of me for that. But, you know, anyway, that was like what I want to talk about Uncharted a little bit. But you know, I get it. You guys don't care about Uncharted that much, and that's fine. I'm known as like the God of War guy. You guys care about the other things, the other thing. So the Faye game, and this is why I want to do like a presentation of sorts, because now we're just kind of getting buried underneath rumor after rumor after rumor. And I thought that it would be good to just start from the very beginning. When did this whole thing with Faye start, right? That in itself is an interesting question, okay? But in recent memory, excuse me, in recent memory, we got this. I'm not even gonna say it a leak, but it's a writer, a senior writer who worked at Santa Monica Studios, and they said, I helped shape the narrative vision and creative direction at Santa Monica Studio for a new franchise within the God of War universe. So this is like as concrete as it gets, that Santa Monica is doing a spin-off series within the God of War universe. Like, you're not gonna get more concrete evidence than this. This is it. This comes from Santa Monica itself. If we're to believe this, which I have no reason why not to, they are working on a spin-off game. For now, we just gotta call it a spin-off game. We don't know what that is yet, right? But then we move on. A couple of, I think right after this, like, people found out about this, right? After people found out about this, another guy who has come to be known as a very reliable insider, Nate the Hate said, here's what I've heard. Yes, the game is set within the God of War universe, and the lead character will be Faye. Gameplay is said to differ from the Norse God of War games with more focus on action. Current plan, revealed this year / release first half 2027, barring any delays. Interesting, right? To be honest, fam, this new rumor is sus. Is too much. Well, look, yeah, look, I would say, like, listen to Chronicler in this sense that just take any rumor with a grain of salt, obviously, right? But I'm a believer, man. I'm not saying I believe the rumor, but I think part of the fun for, like, as being a content creator or like a God of War YouTuber, it's just getting hyped up. It's just getting hyped up, even though it's not gonna come true. Because I do think that there are some things in the rumor that I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting, and it kind of lines up with like some things that other people are saying. So, but again, Chronicler makes a good point that it's just a rumor. It's not confirmed yet, right? But I do think the Faye game is a real thing. Similar to the Metroidvania thing, we're hearing too much about it for it not to have some aspects that are true, right? And here's Exhibit 1, okay? We got Nate the Hate. We got Nate the Hate saying that, yeah, it's a Faye game. Faye is gonna be the protagonist, right? But then it gets even better, and it's gonna keep getting even better, okay? Because then we have, ooh, boo, a bit of a jump scare there, huh? We got Jason Schreier, who's an even more reliable insider. I don't even think he calls himself an insider. He's just someone. He's a journalist at this point. Like, he's the one who actually like gets like in touch with studios. Like, he's written books. Like, the guy knows what he's talking about. So if we go back like months back before the job posting of the Santa Monica writer and Nate the Hate, we go months back. Jason Schreier said, I don't know why people think that Santa Monica is working on a new IP. They're not. It will feel like one, however. I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. Immediately people thought it was going to be a God of War spinoff. So you see, once again, Nate the Hate and Jason Schreier collaborating, like sharing a very similar idea. We're getting traces of it. It's very similar, you know? What this new rumor everyone is talking about. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, Comrade. We'll get to that, okay? But I'm giving you like the full story so we understand where we are in the timeline of this very juicy rumor. So Jason Schreier, who's a very reliable gaming journalist, said months back that, yeah, Santa Monica is working on a new game that's not a new IP, but it's going to feel like one. So like, oh, it's God of War related. Then we get to this beautiful man right here, Christopher Judge, the voice actor of Kratos in the Norse Saga. This was a couple of it's a big soon after the God of War remake was announced, right? A fan, I guess he was at a convention or something, like where he was signing autographs or something. I don't know exactly what the right context was, but a fan goes up to him and asks him, "Hey, Christopher Judge, are you gonna be in the God of War remakes?" And he says, "No, that's gonna be like the old God of War, TC Carson, right?" But then, poor Chris just wants to hang out with the fandom. Like, he was done dirty. He was done dirty because he didn't know that the person asking him that question had a hidden camera, and he goes on to say, like, our thing is gonna be revealed later in the summers, right? So it's interesting. When he said that, I'm like, that's very interesting. I'm like, that's very interesting because, like, could he be talking about the Faye game? Could he be talking about the Faye game? Because Nate the Hate, which once again is reliable, said, current plan revealed this year and released first half of 2027. So I think Christopher Judge, Jason Schreier, and Nate the Hate are talking about the same game. But this really makes it interesting because Christopher Judge said our game, implying that I don't think he claims to have like ownership over the God of War IP. I think he means that Kratos is going to be a part of it, which again, I don't have an image for that right now, but yeah, the current rumors are, I think it might have been Nate the Hate or someone else said that, yeah, Kratos will have a role to play, like he will just not be the protagonist. That's the only thing, right? So yeah, no more sagas in God of War. I hope people get it. Yeah, I'm kind of on that mindset now that I'm like, I don't think we're dealing with sagas anymore. I think Cory Barlog and Santa Monica are just gonna focus on like the next story, right? But we gotta get to talk about that as well, because that's also very interesting, right? I forgot what the next image is, so let's see. Bam. Okay, so that was like 2 months back. The Christopher Judge, Jason Schreier, and Nate the Hate. That was like a couple of months back. I got a burp, excuse me. Sorry, I had lunch right before starting, and I'm talking too much and I'm filling myself up with air. So it's gotta come out from one end or another, okay? And I think this one's the better end to come out of it. So Chris looks high as fuck. Does he? I don't know. I mean, this was at the Game Awards. Maybe he visited the lettuce of Olympus a little bit, and then when I think this is when he won. I mean, he's been winning a lot of awards, so he might have been a little bit high. Doesn't this take place in California? And isn't it legal in California? He probably has dabbled. Like, he probably has back pain as well, like, from the accent. I'm not making fun of that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, he probably has, like, prescription marijuana or something. But anyway, that's Christopher Judge. And, like, we move on to, I think this was, yeah, April 14th. That was what? Yeah, like 2 days ago. We get a website. I've been again, like, the lore about how these rumors are building up in itself is really interesting, okay? So we go to this article now, MP First, okay, that says, report, God of War Faye spinoff claimed to feature Tyr and multiple mythologies. This is the part where Chronicler says that we should take it with a grain of salt, and I agree with him, but then again, it's just, everything is lining up too much, and I'm gonna tell you why I think this is true. So, these people, MP First, I don't know what they cover, I'm guessing video games, right? But, when it came to God of War, like, they didn't get the scoop themselves. They actually went back in time. Like, they went through the internet, and they found this website that came out. Yeah, like, the writer made it in 2023. 3 years ago, 2023. It says, exclusive rumor, next God of War is a prequel, made release in just 2 years. So, I read the article, and I'm not gonna read it here because it's kind of long, but, oh, I forgot to have them linked. I was gonna say, I'm gonna leave them linked somewhere, but after I'm done with the stream, I'm gonna go back and add them to the description so you guys can read them as well. But this was back in 2023, and this was the first guy that we know of that was claiming that Faye was going to play a role in the story, and that Tyr was also going to play a role, and that they were going to be visiting multiple mythologies and, like, jumping across, like, yeah, mythologies and interacting with different gods, and that Kratos might be like, this is where it comes from. Like, this is, like, the first person that talked about this whole rumor, right? And it goes back to 2023. We also have to talk about, we'll eventually circle back to this topic, because we really do have to discuss this whole thing with Santa Monica, and especially PlayStation games just taking so long to make, bro. They're taking so goddamn long that it's just getting really tiring, right? Anyway, was that Micha? I mean, I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Micha Mate. I can't say that. I don't know what your name is. I'm really sorry, bro. But he says, I don't like the idea of having multiple mythologies in a single game because they can barely manage to portray just one. Just stay tuned, because yeah, I'm gonna be reading a Reddit post that I found, and I'm like, I kind of relate to this guy, and it's the same point you're making right now. It's the same point you're making right now. Blood says, oh goody, God of War Marvel Edition, great. It might be good. It might be good. What did Moore say? Who knows if they were to crisscross and have some crazy Norse and Egyptian and Mayan justice League of People, Barlog. Yeah, Barlog did say that in an interview. I forgot. If you want, Morse, can you send me that video? And once we're done with my presentation, we can go and listen to it. If you don't mind, give me the timestamp as well, so I can just go to it exactly, because I know it's like a bigger interview, right? But anyway, getting back to this whole rumor, here, we got like this thing that released in 2023, and they wrote this thing in 2023, but they got something. They said something very weird. They said, wrong slide. Yeah, they did say that they were gonna go to multiple mythologies and stuff, right? But they said that Freya was going to be the protagonist, not Faye. So that's kind of weird. That's a little bit of a discrepancy, right? But what I came to find out is that the person who wrote this article recently, a couple of days ago, which is actually what started this whole wave. It wasn't these people. What actually started this, don't worry about that. What actually started this is this post, okay? It's this post right here on Reddit. According to this post, this is the guy who wrote, god damn it, I'm losing my slides. This is the guy who wrote this article back in 2023, okay? This is the guy who wrote the article back in 2023. And he said that he doesn't work for that company anymore, right? But he's come back with more information, and he says that about the bro feed. I wanted to give you a little bit of a, not an Easter egg, but just like a screen refresher. There you go. Those are for the looks of the world, you know. I have it just for you. You know how long it took me to get this picture of Freya's foot? I need a like and a subscribe right now, okay? Kuba, stop showing feet. Hey, look at that. Look at them. Look at them wiggly pigglies. Look at them wiggly. All right. This is a serious channel. This is a serious channel, for crying out loud, okay? Serious channel, okay? But anyway, this guy, the guy who wrote that article, Kuba, keep it there. Okay, you know what? Let me take that. Let me take that out of circulation. That was a dumb joke. We're just gonna take that out of circulation, so I don't have to flash you guys anymore with the forbidden foot pick, you know. So this is the guy who wrote the article back in 2023, and he's ever since, according to him, if we believe him, he says it'll be her, referring to Faye in tier, and there will be a talking sword in the game, which is Merlin. You will explode. I'm gonna get to that in a bit, okay? The point is, I don't know exactly where he says it here, but he says that he was wrong about the Freya thing because he got confused. He got confused, or he heard it wrong. He said that, you know, and I kind of get that. For us that we're more God of War veterans, like, we don't make a silly mistake of calling Freya Faye, even though I make the mistake of calling Gryla Groa because it starts with G. So I give this guy a pass. I give this guy a pass because Faye, Freya, about the same length name, starts with the same letter. I give him a pass. It's possible that he heard it wrong and just wrote that article wrong, right? But the other reason why I believe this article is because I don't have it here, and I don't have an image, but you're gonna have to go back and read it. He goes on to talk about another rumor, and that is the Atreus rumor, that he said that it was having trouble in development, and that the release date was a little bit optimistic to where they currently were. And now we know that Bluepoint Games was working on an Atreus game. It was going to be like a multiplayer co-op thing. We don't really know, right? And it was Atreus, and I think Atreus might have been visiting multiple realms, but multiple mythologies, but he at least would have gone to Hades, which is weird, right? But as we all know, that project didn't really pan out. So it's interesting that we're seeing like a small bit of truth in this article back in 2023, that project was already in trouble, right? And this, by the way, like, this whole Atreus thing is something that Jason Schreier corroborated. He's the one who broke the news about the Atreus game. So that's why I mean, like, there's things here that I'm like, is this guy for real? I think it is, because I mean, how would he have been able to predict the whole thing about the Atreus game having issues? The real question is if this guy who says he doesn't work for that company anymore is the same guy who wrote that article, because this was just on Reddit, right? And I say that this is the part where you're really gonna have to take the rumor with a huge grain of salt, because he says some wacky stuff. He says, for one thing, he confirms that, yeah, you're gonna go to Mayan myths and like Japanese and China, all over the realm, right? But he talks about some interesting companion characters. Now, companions, I kind of predicted this was going to happen. I predicted this was going to happen because, like I said earlier, PlayStation just does nothing in their story games. Like, they usually have a companion character. And I don't know what's the deal. You know, it's just like the new trend, and they always gotta have it. Every time I bring up the topic of companion characters, I always end up talking about Deimos and Ghost of Sparta, because why did they do that? Why did they give a Metroidvania game a companion character? Now, given Deimos is not really like a companion AI character like Atreus is, in gameplay he's not present, but you know, they made sure to give us a walkie-talkie so they could talk with each other, and I found that kind of annoying. Metroidvania games are supposed to be isolation, so the point is, like, when I heard rumors that Faye was going to have a companion character, I'm like, I mean, well, yeah, when I heard rumors that Faye was going to have a companion character, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Santa Monica and all of Naughty Dog, all of these companies always make, did I say Did I say Ghost of Sparta? I meant Sons of Sparta. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. PlayStation story games usually have a companion character, so you just can't help it, right? But I was hoping that the companion character would be Tyr. Because my big issue with, especially I'm specifically talking about Santa Monica now, is that I just don't have a lot of confidence in them writing kids anymore. I don't like how they handle the dialogue of the dialogue in kid characters in Santa Monica games. They always come across as being really annoying, and I hope like they take this criticism that I and many other fans have to heart, okay? So I was hoping that they would go with Tyr, because at least Tyr is an interesting character, and I like how he sounds, at least, you know. So I wouldn't mind them be constantly there with me, right? But if we're to believe this guy, and I don't know if we should, but if we're to believe this guy, it's even weirder than just having a kid companion character, because we're going to get a gelatinous cube. Pause for effect. According to this guy's rumor, Faye will have a companion character that's a gelatinous cube. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. If it's true, I have to keep saying this. If it's true, I really don't know how to feel about this, because there's a part of me that sees the possibilities that you can have with a gelatinous cube in gameplay. For one thing, I should say that this whole gelatinous cube thing, it's not, if they do it, it's not going to be, at least how I'm envisioning it, how you see it in this image, it's not a completely original idea in Santa Monica. I think there was a movie in the 80s or 70s that it was about an alien cube similar to The Thing that would just go around slowly swallowing people and dissolving them on the inside. That's kind of what you see on the inside. It just kind of like sucks everything and just, not sucks, but just like melts everything on the inside. So it's kind of creepy if you ever get to watch that movie. I think I saw it a long time ago, or at least clips of it, right? But you know, and I think that this is also like a reoccurring like enemy that you come across in Dungeons and Dragon games. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but I think that there's always like, oh, a gelatinous cube approaches and you have to fight it somehow, right? I don't know. But the point is, it's not a completely original character. It's something that has been done before, right? Now, there's one way that they could do this where it's like, it's good, and one way where it's bad. The way that it's bad, if Santa Monica goes full on Disney with this shit, and the gelatinous cube is just like, hey, you can bounce on me so you can get on that ledge, and it's constantly talking and it's giving you stupid tips on puzzles, and it's just talking, and it's gonna have a backstory how his mom and dad gelatinous cube got killed by a Aztec god, and that's the part that scares me. If they go down the I'm gonna call it the Ratatoskr route, you know, like where it's more like a Disney character. That's the part. My chest is hurting. What's going on? Give me a second. Hold on a second. Focus M. Hold on guys. Hold on. My chest is hurting. Hold on. I think I've been talking too much. This stealth section Kuba is happening. Yeah, we'll get to that as well. We'll get to that as well, because actually I don't think I have like a slide for that part of it, but we're gonna talk about that as well. You know, the cube is gonna give us some mustard. Here. I'll make a deal with Santa Monica. Okay, I'll make a deal with Santa Monica. You can make him a Disney character if you want and have him goofing around, but you gotta name it something that will appease me. You ready for this? Zoom in for effect. How about if they name it Gelatinous Cuba? Not cube, but Cuba. Huh? Let me go back out. Huh? What do you think about that? What do you think? Gelatinous Cuba? Get it? Instead of cube, you get gelatinous cube. This is the little cameo that I'm willing to. You know what? Put me in the game. Give him like a Cuban accent, Cuban/Canadian accent, and I'm all for it. Okay? You gotta bribe me, Santa Monica. If you don't want me to talk bad about your Disney-esque gelatinous cube, you gotta name him after him. Okay? Gelatinous Cuba right there. I'm shooting my shot here. I'm shooting my shot, you know? Screenshot. As a professional stoner, he is 100% off the coast right now. Who, me? Me? No, I'm not. I'm actually not. It's illegal in in this part of the US. It's illegal. So, hell no, bro. I'm not about to risk my life for that. I'm just kind of in a good mood because, like, we're talking about God of War, and I have slides, and it's more fun. Okay, it's more fun. But anyway, yeah, like that's the route that this can go completely sideways if they make him like a silly character and he's goofing off and telling jokes and he has a backstory. However, I was thinking about this, and as a gameplay mechanic, this could really be interesting. This I could honestly see a lot of possibilities for this to be interesting. Like I can just imagine, like Faye summons the cube and it's timed or something, right? And it's huge like this. It's huge like this, right? And Faye can just grab enemies and throw them inside the cube. Or if, let's say she has a chain weapon, she like throws the chain to the cube, pulls it, and it grabs a bunch of people on the inside. She can punch the cube. Like there's so many things that you can do with it from a gameplay perspective that I'm like, that would be kind of cool and kind of unique to separate the Faye game from the Kratos game. So like from a gameplay perspective, like I'm seeing like the potential here. You can use the cube to jump higher. Like it's possible, man. Like it's possible that even though this sounds silly, like there's a way to actually like have fun with like gameplay mechanics involving a cube. I see the potential. I'm not a game developer, but I see the potential with a green cube. Okay, I just don't want him to be kind of talking all the time. Is that? Do you think that's like a reasonable thing to ask for? I think it is. You know, give the cube luxurious hair. Of course, man. Yeah, just very energetic. Today. I am. I woke up early. I just had some coffee, and I'm like, we're talking God of War, and some pretty wacky rumors that may or may not come true, right? But anyway, like this was one of the companion characters that this guy said, and again, we don't know if this guy is for real. He just claims that he wrote the previous article, right? But so yeah, that's one of the characters. The other one is a little bit more interesting, and it kind of makes more sense God of War wise, and you might have heard this already. I already said it before by accident, but. The next companion character apparently is going to be Merlin, the guy from Arthurian Legends. Although he's not going to be the traditional old wizard guy. He's going to be a sentient sword, very similar to Ingrid was in God of War Ragnarok, you know. So there's that. That's interesting. Let me read the comment for a bit, you know. Imagine they actually go the Rimuru route and the slime can turn into a human and is OP. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, it can kind of shape shift and just kind of become anything you want it to be at the moment. Thinking about it, like, that's probably what's going to end up happening. That's because that way you can probably have more personality with the cube, and the cube is just one of the forms that it could take. Again, if this is true, you know, I can kind of see it. If the cube doesn't talk, I'll buy the game on release date. The cube family was decimated by a tribe of trapezoids. He's the last survivor and learned to use humor as a way to cope. He's constantly making jokes and quipping. Guys, I love you. We gotta keep up the pressure, like by making fun of these decisions, because like this is like so, like this is such a like 2020 like game trend that just needs to die, man. Like this quipping companion character constantly, like. Look, I've recently gotten into the Legacy of Kain series, and I might actually talk about that later as well. I'm obsessed with Legacy of Kain right now. I'm playing through it, and that game is a good example of, like, for one thing, having like serious dialogue that's not modernized, and also no companion characters, and you can still tell a really captivating and interesting story. And this whole trend of having a companion character is it's just gotten so old. It's just gotten so old for me, at least, that I hope that developers kind of leave it in the past. It had a good run, but I think it's time to, you know, change the wheel a little bit here, because it is getting kind of old. But again, like when it comes to like the gameplay aspect of it, it's not bad. Like one of the rumors says that this Faye game is going to be more like Devil May Cry, right? And I know that in Devil May Cry, Dante can ride like missiles that are thrown at him, like not in gameplay, but in cutscene, woohoo, you know. So I can kind of see Faye like jumping on the sword and just kind of using it as a skateboard. I'm not gonna say skateboard because that makes it sound too silly, but she can ride the sword. You know, that sounds even worse. And she can like get on the sword and just like drive it through enemies. When it comes to like gameplay things, I always have more ideas, even though I'm not a gameplay designer, right? But there's more ideas that I can come up with, like for making him a character. Merlin makes more sense than the gelatinous cube because he was at least a person that we know of, and like it would be nice to get his backstory. I think this one I could make the exception of like, I would like to know the backstory of how Merlin ended up in a sword, you know? Excuse me. I wonder if it's true, I wonder if like this sword turns out to be like the Arthurian sword or something, like the one that Arthur has to pull from the stone or shit. Cuba's giving Santa Monica ideas. Hey, hopefully, you know, although some people don't like the idea of like me influencing Santa Monica, even though I don't think I do. Like a part of this whole presentation is gonna be like how the thing that excites me about this game is that it seems like it was planned. It has been planned for a very long time, right? But anyway, yeah, apparently, like, according to the rumor, Merlin is going to be a companion character. We'll see how that pans out. So I guess now we get to like the juicy part of like this whole thing of like traveling to multiple mythologies and shit. Because this is the thing that I don't think this has started recently. I think soon after I made that Faye video, or like the day I uploaded that Faye video, someone came out saying that, yeah, it's not gonna be a traditional prequel, like you're gonna be jumping across mythologies and shit, right? And this is where I want to read like that other guy's comment on the thing. So this was when was this? A day ago. So this is by a God of War fan, and he says, lately there have been more and more leaks suggesting that Cory Barlog's game about Faye incorporates several mythologies. While I have no problem with exploring other lands ruled by different gods, the issue is cramming all of that into a single game. That's a reoccurring theme these days, huh? The main problem is that this means that none of these mythologies will be thoroughly explored or developed, as it will simply be a superficial touch on the subject of the other lands. The Greek saga needed 6 games to mostly delve into the lore of Greek mythology, and even then we didn't get to know many other gods such as Apollo or Artemis, right? Then he goes on to say, the Norse saga was originally supposed to have 3 games, but it was crammed into 2, which is why many fans consider God of War Ragnarok to have a rushed storyline, so the game doesn't fully satisfy everyone because the pace of the final stage was too fast and it didn't fully capture the scale of Ragnarok. And it must be said that Ragnarok is truly a massive game, even larger than God of War 2018, and yet it didn't deliver on everything. China and Japan aren't simple realms that are a part of a larger country, just as Vanaheim and Midgard are a part of Scandinavia, which consists of 9 realms. He says Chinese, but it's China and Japan are countries in their own right and deserve to be thoroughly explored and experienced, not just a rushed, superficial scheme on the surface. So far, God of War has needed several games to do justice to a single mythological land, and covering multiple lands in a single game might be impossible. So, let me read the super chats for a second, then we'll get back to this guy. Speaking of, how do you like your steak? Since we're talking about juicy, my shit needs to be as rare as possible. I don't like it blue. But I do like it. I do like it medium rare. I'm definitely like a medium rare guy. Just not. I don't want it like still twitching. That's kind of gross. But I do like a little bit of blood in my steak, so definitely like medium rare. Oh, it is your Reddit post. Oh, that's interesting. Because you're the guy who sent the super chatters, and oh yeah, it turns out to be you. I'm reading your post right here, and yeah, dude, look, I can honestly, I relate to you deeply. Like the whole topic of Santa Monica cramming the Norse saga, finishing the Norse saga in 2 games, I think has been one of the biggest mistakes that Santa Monica has done in the history of God of War. I think I have issues with the Norse saga, but they had such a good setup with God of War 2018, and I go back to the Legacy of Kain series thing. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because I finished it recently, and I have come to believe that that's probably like top 3 best storylines in any video game. Like the plot, at least. Like just, it's so good. It's so goddamn good. It's so good, you know. And but that's because it kind of makes sense, like with the previous game. Like it delivers on the thing that sets up in the previous game, right? But yeah, Ragnarok for me didn't do it on that end. You know, it might have been a good conclusion to Kratos and Atreus as characters, how they grew together and all that. But I feel like on the mythology side suffered greatly, and the thing that worries me about this is that this is a problem that Santa Monica still has, and I don't know how exactly they're going to fix this. The problem is that Santa Monica's games are so big these days. I think the problem why they take so long is because they're no longer simple linear games, right? They're semi-open, and you have to make so many quest lines. You have to hire voice actors to populate these quest lines. You have to hire extra developers to make little armors for you to like make builds and shit. Like it's so much. It's so much that I think like making these games like this big is what's taking them so long. And I think, like, as someone who prefers single player games, I think that they should go back. But I also think they should go back because with the Norse Saga, Santa Monica is more focused on the story. And when it comes to story, you have a much tighter experience if your game is linear. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it makes sense. Like in 2018, you know, I like the whole like lowering the lake level thing. That I thought that was like a good mechanic that kind of made sense, and you're kind of like exploring with your son. Like it kind of makes sense, you know. But you look at the games that inspired the Norse Saga, like Uncharted, The Last of Us, even the original God of War games. They're like tight story. They're tight stories because they're linear games, and that's the beauty, bro. The beauty is that they could pump out those games a lot more faster, right? So now Santa Monica is having to fulfill the people who are into the story and the people who like the open world stuff. And these things, I just feel like they're kind of clashing, because if they're gonna take their time with it, it's what Cory Barlog said in my interview. It's gonna take them 15 years to tell a single story. It's true. Look at that. Look at that. Like the Norse Saga, if they had done a trilogy, it would have taken almost 10 years for 3 games. For 3 games. Whereas in the Greek Saga, it only took them 5. Think about the amount of time that Santa Monica takes to make these games now. And I think from a design perspective, it's just better if they get rid of all the RPG stuff, all of the unnecessary side quests, because there are some good ones, there are some good side quests, but there's also a lot of unnecessary ones that I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? You know, go back to making the game linear and have a tighter story, right? And if they're doing that, if they're going back to a tighter story, then it's possible that this could work, because you're only seeing aspects of it, right? What I don't want in this game, is for at the end, for Tyr to be like, hey, our job is done, but there's plenty of stuff we can do to save. Like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that again. You know, what did more say? Eric is not him when it comes to world building. We'll see. But that's the thing. I also don't think Santa Monica wants to do a simple linear game either. I think Cory, and that's why I like God of War 2018 more overall. It has a lot of issues, but like from a creative standpoint, I like it because it's more unique. Like the exploration in that game feels more unique. It feels more real, more grounded, even though it's a little bit cumbersome, right? So like I mentioned before, you get the lake and like it keeps lowering, and then you get to explore. It's more organic, right? And then in each realm has its own purpose. In Niflheim, you get your procedurally generated level, which is kind of bland, but it was a good idea. Then in Muspelheim, you get the challenge area, right? And then in Alfheim is kind of stupid. it's just there for like the story bit, pretty much, and some side stuff. But it was smaller exploration, but it had a purpose. Whereas in God of War Ragnarok, it to me it felt more like a Ubisoft game, where it was that thing that Cory Barlog doesn't like, of like, it's just a bunch of checklist of things that you have to do. The crater was the exception. I did like the crater, you know. So it's hard, because I do think that there's going to be exploration and all that stuff. But let me see what the next slide. Even though like these images are here to like keep me grounded, I'm still rambling on, you know. But we get to like the part, because look, yeah, this sounds. Hold on. I don't know why I'm doing that. Hold on. I get that this whole thing kind of sounds made up. Really? Faye? Tyr? Multiple mythologies? how are they going to do this? Like, is this a real thing? And this is the part that gets me more excited about this project, because back in 2018, back in God of War 2018, we already see hints that Cory Barlog was planning this story. This is a tapestry that you can find in Tyr's temple, and nowhere does it say that this is Faye. Although I think Morse has discovered, he has deduced somehow that this is actually Faye. I think he did it because in the art book they used like this character model for Faye, so he's like, that's Faye talking to Tyr. I never really made that connection. I kind of just assumed that it was Faye because who else could it be? Gryla? Like it's gotta be Faye. Like it kind of makes sense. And since then you can see that she's been working with Tyr. So now like this is kind of recontextualize what I thought that this game was going to be, because when the rumors came out, and if you see my video, what I'm kind of arguing for is like, okay, where in the timeline of the Norse saga this prequel is going to take place? And even though I didn't talk about it, I did kind of allude to a problem that could have happened if Santa Monica did just a prequel story, right? And that is that the Norse timeline is so expansive, so huge, and there's so many like time gaps. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry, honey, if you're watching the stream. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. But anyway, the timeline is so huge and it has so many time gaps that I don't know exactly how they could tell a trilogy story, right? It's not as simple as God of War 2018 to Ragnarok, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, it's just 3 years, you can skip a little bit. No, like this we're talking about like Tyr's sinking of the temple takes place 40 years before Faye gets the axe, and it's like, yeah, it's hard to tell a story as a naturally, right? So this idea that Faye and Tyr are gonna be traveling to multiple mythologies makes more sense. It makes more sense that that Faye is going to have a hand in everything. And I was like, oh wow, really? And like, but again, we do go back to this problem. It's like, yeah, it feels like we're not gonna really delve super deep into Egyptian mythology. Although I think the current rumors is that Kratos is gonna go to Egypt. I don't know. Again, there's so many rumors, you know. But that's the fear that comes with it. Let me just take a breather here and drink some water, you know. I've been talking too much. Square Enix says, you lot are so wrong if you think Eric Williams changed his story. He was following Cory's story. Things changed, but that's due to game development, not human inconsistency. I think some things definitely did change. I think Cory has said on record that he had a different vision for Odin of how he was going to be portrayed, right? So Eric did change some things, but I do agree that this whole thing of like Cory giving him like only 3 points that he had to abide by, I think there were more points. And the whole thing with the mask and the rift, I think that has been also part of Cory's plan from the beginning as well. Like in some form or another, I think that has been Cory's plan, you know. I'm getting some Coke. Go for it, Ben. Did I try what? The one-piece meal from Popeyes? No, I haven't. No. That's kind of a random question. Hold on. It is Faye. It's literally Faye in the art book, and it's the same character in version 2, Atreus Shrine in Ironwood. Yeah, right. Yeah. Also, the files of Ragnarok confirm that Faye helped Tyr hide the tower. Ah, there you go, see? And Mimir said in 2018 that Tyr could only have hidden the tower with the help of the giants. So, yeah, the whole, maybe like that's gonna be like part of the story, like them hiding the tower or something. And maybe they have to like, well, I mean, no, because he needs the Unity Stone to travel to multiple mythologies. He doesn't have the Unity Stone here because Mimir has to look at it, I think. So it's not here, but he has the Unity Stone, and that's what helps him travel to multiple mythologies. So again, I don't know what the story is gonna like focus on. Why are they traveling to multiple mythologies? The point I'm trying to make here is that this is not something that Cory Barlog is pulling out of his ass at the last minute. It seems like Cory has been planning this for a long time. And here's another tapestry. I love this tapestry, bro. I love this tapestry because especially now, this part here could be corroborated to one of the recent rumors that say that Faye will have a hand in the story of Kratos in the Greek saga. I'm like, what does that mean? You tell me that Faye has been like watching over Kratos since the Greek game, since the Greek storyline? How exactly is that going to work, right? And we might be seeing this here, right? Although it's weird because this is not definitive proof, right? Because we don't know when this image takes place, right? because we see water, so we could say that this is after Poseidon's death, which means Kratos already left. But there was still water in Greece. Like, he could have gone before, right? But then why would he only talk to humans? They only seem like humans here. It's weird. It's weird, but we're getting hints of it. We're getting hints of it that Corey has been planning this for a long time. And looky look down here. Oh, Z Griffin, welcome back, bro. Appreciate it. We have Egypt, we have Japan, and we have the Mesoamerican? Yeah, Mesoamerican mythology as well. Aztec or Maya, I'm not sure which one that is. You're seeing it here. Like the thing that people are talking about in these rumors, according to this at least, according to this one, which is the oldest one, back in 2023, is corroborating what we've been seeing. What we've been seeing in God of War 2018 since 2018. Almost 10 years in the making, bro. Almost 10 years. It's crazy. It's crazy that they've been able to keep this a secret for as long as they have. But it's all kind of unraveling at the last minute. Is that the last image? I think this is the last image. Yeah, this is the last image. I think I have more to say, but I forgot. Even though like I had the images, I still kind of went out of order and just like started rambling a lot. But you know, if Tyr becomes a playable character, kick ass. Okay, you know, thank you. Who's that? Sully? Thank you. That reminds me of something else I was gonna say. There's also this mystery of like what this game is going to be called. You know, because it's a God of War spin-off game. But if it's Faye, if Faye is the protagonist, you can't name it God of War. But what if it? I'm bringing it back to Legacy of Kain. What if it's similar to the titling of Legacy of Kain, where the name is called Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, but you don't play as Kain, you play as Raziel. Did I say that right? Raziel? You play as the other guy, but the game is still called Legacy of Kain. And the fact that the rumors say that Tyr is going to be in the story, I wonder if they're going to use Tyr as a justification for why this spin-off game will still be called God of War, because technically he is the god, not technically, he is the God of War, just of the Norse saga. You're gonna say it. Excuse me. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. And but Sully says, if Tyr becomes a playable character, kick ass. Not gonna lie. The thing about Tyr becoming a playable character is that I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna do it, given that Tyr is like a different size. Like I don't know how that. Maybe Faye can ride him. Not in a minigame. As much as some of you might want to see that. Tell me, has Faye conquered another God of War? Bro, what? Gelatinous cube? I just saw that. Oh, you saw that? You just saw that just now? But what I mean is like, what if in the gameplay... I don't know. I think I'm more down to play as Faye. Tyr is cool and all that, and he's the God of War, but I feel like he'd be too slow. I like the idea of possibly playing as Faye, you know, because it's possible that she's going to be faster. She's Cory Barlog. I think it was Cory Barlog when he started working in God of War 1, because he was an animator for God of War 1. He came up with a rule for Kratos as a character, and that rule was that Kratos cannot do a backflip. Not that he's not able to, but he doesn't do it because he's not acrobatic. He's more like, he's a Spartan. He's more efficient in his movement. He's not gonna be like, whoa, like Dante from Devil May Cry. He's not gonna doing flips and like I mean, he does run on walls in God of War 3, right? But he's not gonna be overly acrobatic, right? That's one thing that I feel like they could do with the Faye game. You know, she is strong, but that's not her main thing. Her main thing is that she's super fast and acrobatic. Like maybe she can jump on Tyr and ride him. I don't know exactly what that would look like, you know. But it's possible they can do something like that. Let me read Irfam's comment. Hold on. Tyr needs his own game. Shoving all that in one sounds like a disaster. Yeah, we talked about that before, where it's like, it does sound like this is going to be a very ambitious game, but then again, it's also according to the rumors, it's set up as a spin-off franchise, not just a spin-off game, right? If it's just one game, it's gonna be a lot, right? Again, and I'm coming fresh out of Legacy of Kain, and if you've played Soul Reaver 2 specifically, that's the last one I played. If you've played Soul Reaver 2 specifically, you can see the possibility of of like jumping in between. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Jumping in between like different realms, let's say, you know, and like how well the story can work, you know. And if they add time travel into this, it could be a really interesting story, you know. What was Irfan's comment? What was it? Do you reckon they will let us? Oh yeah, the time travel our own heart's desire. Like at any point, just open the world can be changed to 50 years ago versus 2 years ago versus present. All right. I don't know how they would do that, Irfan. I don't know how they could pull that off. If they do something that revolutionary, it's gonna be insane. If they let us actively time travel, I think there's a game, I forgot, Chrono something, I forgot what it's an Xbox game that's coming out that is kind of Clockwork. I think it's Clockwork something. It's teasing something like that you can go back in time at any point. I just don't know if it's scripted or more like open for whatever you want. I don't think. Look, fuck it. You should have played Legacy of Kain. Get out of here if you want to play Legacy of Kain. Okay, that kind of happens in Legacy of Kain. It just happens linear, and the payoff is so good. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2 is probably the best time traveling story I've ever played. Like it's so good, bro. It is such a good story. It's such a good story. And if they can do some shit like that for God of War, I'm gonna lose my mind. But what Irfan is saying is something even crazier. He's like, what if they let us time travel at our own will? Like whenever we want to. You're like go back in time. But then again, I would like that. But I think that has to be its own game. I don't think Santa Monica should have in the same game multiple mythologies, time travel, a gelatinous cube. No idea in a game is crazy. No idea in a game is inherently bad. There is, however, a bad execution. So it's possible that we're not seeing a certain assumption that we're not taking into account an assumption that Santa Monica did to make it work, you know? It's possible. But I do know that they're also human and they make mistakes. And like some things with God of War Ragnarok, you know, like some things just didn't work out, right? So yeah, a big fear of mine is that it's going to be a bloated mess in a way, you know. But we're talking about all of these things, man. It sounds really exciting sometimes, you know. What if you play as Faye, main protagonist, but also Tyr? Yeah, look, I would say that I'm down for that. The only thing is like the different size between Faye and Tyr. That's the only thing, because I think even for Kratos in God of War 2018, even though canonically he's like 7 foot something, like in God of War 2018 they had to make him shorter, I think, for camera reasons. Since I forgot, I don't know what the reasoning is. I think math is involved, and I kind of tune that out. But there was specific reason why they had to make him slightly shorter, right? So now you have Faye, who's like normal size, and then freaking Tyr, who's like huge. I'm like, it just, I don't know how that could work. It's interesting if it does end up working, you know, but I don't know if it, you know, I don't know if it'll happen. Unc will lose his mind if the stealth comes in. All right, we're gonna talk about stealth. We're gonna talk about stealth here. We gotta talk about stealth. So, stealth. I don't know if it was Waleed or someone else like comment that a couple of days ago, but they're like, this is gonna be the first God of War project that it's gonna have a stealth game, a stealth mechanic of some kind. And ever since I heard that, I'm like, I think I believe it. I think I believe it, you know, because they haven't done that yet, and that's like a frontier for them. And Faye being sneaky and all that, I'm like, how is Faye described in God of War 2018? She never met any of the Aesir gods, but she was always thwarting their plans. Like, thwarting sounds a little bit too much like Solid Snake. Like, she goes behind enemy lines, and they're like, no more grains for your war, and like your soldiers go hungry. Like I can kind of see some stealth mechanics playing a role in it. It could work. I don't know, because I've recently been playing Sekiro, and I'm enjoying the stealth in that game. Like, it's fast, and when it inevitably goes sideways, I can always fight my way out, you know. There's a good way of doing it, but I just hope it doesn't feel like the Mary Jane sections in Spider-Man 2, where it's like, okay, it's time for the stealth mission now, and if you get caught, it's game over. I hate those things. I just hate those things, you know. It's one of those things, if you're not gonna do a stealth game, why have stealth mechanics in it, you know? Unless it works out at the end. Let me get some water. Ah, there we go. I'm gonna have such a sore throat when I'm done here. Do you think we'll ever get to see Kratos return to Sparta or Greece? Not in his mind, like actually has to go to Greece to deal with some problem. There's some untapped potential in that idea. There's something weird with that. There's something weird with that. I don't think I can do it now. Hold on, let me go. Let me go to big face for a little bit, and I can do it off screen. Hold on. By the way, my beard's coming back. What do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about it? Look, you're just gonna have to trust me. This is too much work. This is too much work, and I didn't really have it as part of the presentation. What the hell did I do? I didn't really have it part of the presentation, but because I didn't know we were gonna talk about this. But in God of War Fallen God, Kratos in one way or another goes to the higher plane of existence, to what we call the... There's so many things we don't know still. To what we call the higher plane of existence. And Athena says, you must return home. I'm not exactly sure what she means by that still. Because technically he is like in a different realm. Home might mean return back to the physical world. Or it could literally mean return back to your home as in Greece, right? So I don't know what that is. And I know that a couple of months back, there was a rumor that Kratos was going to have a scythe, and the game actually didn't take place in Egypt but in Greece, and I think it was Tom Henderson, which is a pretty reliable insider as well. So I don't know what to make of that. I haven't really looked up at that rumor because I also think it goes way back. So I'm like, were they talking about like God of War Sons of Sparta back then? Like did the rumor get all garbled up, like the leak get all garbled up into saying that he was gonna go back to Greece and it's actually just Sons of Sparta? I don't know. We return to Greece. It's called Sons of Sparta. Yeah. What if Brock and Sindri taught her the step in between realms technique? Yeah. You know, Morse, I never thought about that. I didn't think about that. And we go back to now God of War 2018, where something interesting happens. And at this point, I don't even know if it's true, but I think at the time I believed that during the dragon section in God of War 2018, Sindri starts pulling out things out of his bag, and one of them to me just looks like an Egyptian khopesh, like the scythe weapon that used to like cut grains. I'm like, how the hell did he get that? That always seemed like a little hint that maybe Egypt was next or something like that. But it's like, what? Can he actually reach into other pantheons? Like, I don't see that happening. But it's like, where the hell did he get that? Where the hell did he get that? And could that somehow have anything to do with this that we're seeing right now? I know that he used the Unity Stone, but again, we still don't know how the Unity Stone was made, at least fully, you know. I think they used some like Jotnar creative essence or something. I forgot the specific thing that Mimir said that it was made of. But we tend to make a lot of assumptions with these things. Like, okay, we know that Tyr did this, but it's like we don't know exactly how he did it, you know. Excuse me. And I think that's what Santa Monica is going to capitalize in this game. They're going to go back to this era that we don't know much about, and they're going to tell us, no, this is what really happened. This is how Tyr really hit the tower, and you don't even know how Faye was involved. I think that's what's going to be happening here, you know. I'll have to look for the line of dialogue, but I believe he said something about that. Yeah, Jotnar creative essence, I think, right? But we need an Amara game for real. Chronicler, when's the review coming out, man? I don't mean to rush you, bro, but one of us has to do it. That responsibility has somehow fallen to you. Can you stop my pits? No, I thought it's just a shadow, I think. I don't think I'm sweaty. But yeah, I was supposed to talk about Sons of Sparta, and I'm like, I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to talk about this thing. I'm gonna be so negative in that video, so goddamn salty, because I was the biggest supporter of this game until it fucking came out, and I'm like, this is the thing you guys worked on. This is what you were doing. This is your Metroidvania. It makes me so mad. I don't think Zesty liked it either. I think the only one who has made a review that's pretty in depth is Luke22, which is pretty funny. He was reviewing Sons of Sparta, comes in 2027. It's just around the corner. Just around the corner. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop writing LMAO. I'll get back to it. I've been editing my lore video for a month now. Yeah, even me these days, like I tend to like do a lot of like rewrites of my videos. I should say that I'm gonna be the next video that should be going up. Should I even show this? Hold on a second. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Hold on. I might end up spoiling something for you. Give me a sec. The next video that I'm talking, that I'm gonna be covering, I don't even have the image here. I don't have the image here. All right. Well, you're just gonna have to trust me then. You're gonna have to trust me. Where's the Faye thing? Faye rumors. Yeah. The next video I'm working on is a theory on like the big discovery that Morse made, the Athena cutscene. But I'm not really focusing on Athena. I'm focusing on the robed character, and I'm like, I think I like this theory. This is a good theory, you know. Stop it, Kuba. Stop it. I was just about to spoil something. No, bad Kuba. John did a decent video as well. Oh yeah, John. Yeah, when it came out, he did a Sons of Sparta preview as well. Yeah, to me it was more like it really was not the Metroidvania game I was expecting. Like, in so many aspects, the story is just at this moment it's kind of pointless. There might be some hints that they want to do like a sequel to it, but man, just we gotta look for Vasilis. Oh, Vasilis has been dead this whole time. Great, you know. Thanks for nothing. Like the gods are not involved that we know of, you know. Like there might be some hints that they are involved. So yeah, Sons of Sparta launched on the 14th in the USA. The month it came out, definitely didn't make a splash. Well, the thing is, I mean, I didn't really set an image for this topic, but apparently it sold well. They don't have the exact number of copies. You know, we can look it up. They don't have the exact number of copies, but the rumor is that Sons of Sparta sold pretty well. God of War, Sons of Sparta sales. Yeah, Sons of Sparta is officially a hit. I forgot how the reasoning was, how it worked. Yeah, Sons of Sparta is officially emerging as a commercial bright spot for PlayStation after the lower price PS5 spin-off broke into key sales charts for February 2026. In doing so, the spin-off appears to have delivered a notable early year result for Sony, suggesting the company's biggest franchise may have room for more God of War. So I forgot how it went. Yeah, I think it wasn't like amount of sales. I think it was like amount made with it, and they were able to calculate that the game was $30, and it made it into the 14th spot. Yeah, the 14th spot in Arcana's list or something. And they're like, oh, okay, if the game was $30 and if it made X amount of cash, it must have mean that it sold pretty well, right? And I understand why it did. It has the names, the seller right here, the name. It's got the brand recognition aspect of it, you know. And it also helped that they shadow dropped it day one, and it's brilliant. But I'm kind of salty about that because I one way of looking at it is that Santa Monica wanted us to get that game right away because it was kind of late on the anniversary, right? But they could have waited. They could have waited until March to release it, right? I'm a little bit negative on that aspect, but I feel like they knew the game was not. I'm not gonna say Santa Monica. I'm gonna say Sony, at least PlayStation. They knew that the game wasn't ready, and they kind of did like a day one, knowing that it had the brand recognition and people were gonna buy it, and that's why it sold so well. Because the game, one of the things that, man, I don't understand this. This is the first time that has happened in a God of War game. The game was buggy as hell on release date, and people said that I was being too harsh, but having a bug that deletes your progress, the like 2 hours worth of progress, is insane in a Metroidvania. It's a game-breaking bug, and there were more. I have a compilation of it. There were so many bugs, you know. They fixed it after everyone already bought it. Yeah. I'm pissed the fan got the glitches version of the game. Yep. Yeah, the people like me and like people who were really into it, people who wanted to be like really into it, we got the absolute worst of it. They did patch that now, but still, the game was a buggy mess, and I don't understand what the reasoning was, aside from just like, yeah, we don't even want them to like make a, a calculated decision in buying this thing. Like, just get them with the hype, you know, release it day one, and they bought it, and we bought it. The game sold well. I'm hoping they take this Like the fact that it sold well. I'm not even, what am I even pointing at? This is like another thing. It's not even related to Sons of Sparta. I'm hoping that they took the fact that the game sold well as a sign that they could perhaps do more Metroidvania games. They just gotta be good Metroidvania games. I'm still of the idea that a Metroidvania game could work, you know. Maybe not with Kratos, because we go back to the whole thing of Kratos doesn't do a backflip, and backflip goes hand in hand with being acrobatic, and acrobatics goes hand in hand with a Metroidvania game because you have to be fast, you have to be jumping all over the place, right? So maybe character-wise, it doesn't make sense for it to be Kratos. So hopefully they're kind of leading down a path that you eventually play as Deimos when he was captured by Ares and Athena, and then you play as him as an adult. That would be cool, because then maybe he could be a little bit more, not that much, but a little bit more acrobatic, right? Yeah, I finished it completely because it's a God of War game, and I deleted it. Man, look, I want to make at least one theory video of it, but I need to like play it again to like get footage for it, and I'm like, I did one. I think I did one. Let me see. Hold on. God of War playthroughs. Yeah. I did part 1. Let me see how long I lasted. Hold on. 20 minutes. I lasted 20 minutes. And I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing this. Kirk copies. Yeah, I do have a bunch of like files here of like, I was gonna use all of these for a review, but I'm like, what even is the point? Like, everything has been said about this game. I'm not gonna say anything new. I'll eventually have to talk about like the let me fix the camera here. Nope. There. I eventually do want to talk about it, but I just don't know what angle to like focus on, because it's just, it was such a huge disappointment. Look, man, I'm really hoping, hold on, I'm really hoping that this thing is real, and that it's good. I don't know if I can take another loss, man. Like, with how long these games are taking, with how long these games are taking, I'm starting to lose faith by the minute here, bro. We get God of War Ragnarok, which was still a good game, but man, like, it just was not like what I expected to the Norse Saga to be. I thought it was gonna be a lot more impactful, way better, just like in like its plot of the Norse myths and stuff. And then I put myself all in with the Metroidvania thing, and that didn't pay off as well. And now we hear that Corey has been working on a Faye game since God of War 2018, and I'm like, man, it better be fucking good. It better be fucking good, because I don't have a lot of time left as a God of War fan here, man. Like, I'm starting to lose a little bit of patience here, you know. Kuba finally hates another God of War game more than Ragnarok. Yeah, I do. And what bothers me about Fallen God is that what I expected from the Metroidvania is that Santa Monica was gonna be forced to do something else than the Norse Saga. But nope, they got the same writers. They gave you a companion character that helps you with puzzles in a goddamn Metroidvania, and you still have to deal with RPG shit. It's the same game, just in 2D. They could not step out of the box they created from the Norse Saga to try and do some new things. The goal for me, for like what I would consider the goal for these smaller cheaper games to make, is for them to take more risks with them, do something new, that then if it fails, you're like, okay, it fails, but we only spent $50 million in this game as opposed to 200 millions, right? So, and if those mechanics that they introduce work out, they could then introduce them to the more risky games, like the mainline God of War games that cost $200 million. But it just ended up being the same game, just in 2D, bro. Same thing, you know. Brasidas is a first-line bully. I did like Brasidas. I did like that character. He was the best one, I think. How is Deimos a companion except for the occasional combo? Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That there were other time frames in the series that they could have covered in the Metroidvania game, and they chose to like go back in time to when Kratos had a brother, so they could still have like this back and forth. Okay, because again, like, they have this new philosophy for storytelling that you need to have constant talking between characters for there to be growth. And it's like, I disagree with that. And especially after playing Legacy of Kain, I call bullshit. You don't need constant talking. You don't need that. But they did it anyways. And again, I was hoping the Metroidvania was a game that they could try out new things, but they didn't. So I'm hoping that with the sales, it works out for them and they take that money and do like a part 2 and actually really sit down and think about how to make a good God of War Metroidvania, you know? But you have to respect the Metroidvania aspect of it, because it's not it, man. It's not it, you know. Goji cadets always united. Yeah, Sons of Sparta has to be a cash grab. It used 1990 engine, which is very cheap, and it used its name to sell an overpriced product. I don't want to make that claim, but I don't know, because like they did went with like a studio that its main thing is retro games, not Metroidvania games. They do retro games. If you go on their website, they're still making games for the Sega Genesis or the Sega Saturn, something like that. And it's kind of cool that you have companies that still release games, cartridges for those consoles, right? But you know, I think they would have been much better off like seeking out the help of the people who made Blasphemous, or another company that's more known for Metroidvanias. Because it wasn't it, man. It was not it. Sons of Sparta is the Concord tax. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. We're really gonna feel it. We're gonna really feel the Concord tax with the PlayStation 6. Have you guys seen the rumors of how much it's going to be? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think I'll be able to buy it. My videos are not doing that hot anymore, which I'm okay with. I still like making the videos, but I don't know, man. I don't think I would go. I don't think I'm willing to go above $500 for a PS6. I don't think that's anything above that. It's too unreasonable. Even $500 for me is like, this is pushing it. This is like $1,000. It's insane, man. King's Corp, I gotta head out. Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. How much? The rumors of the PS6 is that it's going to cost up to, at the very least, $699. So $700 for a goddamn console that it's still, the games are still probably going to be like a cross-gen. I'm like, I think I'm going to stick with the PS5, even if I have to play my games on 30 frames. That's how I used to do it on the PlayStation 3, and I can get used to it again, you know. $1,000 for a console. Yeah, it's insane. They're talking about like different methods of selling it. Instead of just like instead of you giving them full cash, they're talking about leasing it. I'm like, what are we doing? Like a monthly payment for a game console? This is insane. And again, it goes back to this whole thing. It's not just the Concord tax. It's the fact that these games, God of War, The Last of Us, Intergalactic, Horizon, they just take too goddamn long to make. They eventually do sell a lot, but Santa Monica and PlayStation needs to have smaller games like they used to on the PlayStation 2. And again, that's why Sons of Sparta for me was such a huge disappointment. I'm like, this was like a test. This was a test. But it does come across as a cash grab, and now, even though I would still be down to play another Metroidvania game, I'm a little bit skeptical of their ability to pull one off. You know, I'm a little bit skeptical because the first one was kind of bad. So, man, I don't know. I want to be like super excited again. I want to be super hyped about the future of the series and the future of PlayStation again. I miss that, but recently it just feels like they've been doing so many decisions that are so counterintuitive to what they should be doing that I end up losing a lot of hope, you know. It's still crazy that Sons of Sparta is not on PC. Well, I mean, we heard that the reason for that is because PlayStation is it's walking back the whole thing of releasing their games on PC. They want to go back to being exclusive, which I get, but a game like Sons of Sparta needed to be on PS4, PC, even Nintendo Switch, you know. But I mean, it sold well enough for. I would like to know how much it took for them to make that game. I would like to know that, you know, because I don't think it would go above. I think most of the budget might have gone into voice acting. You know, T.C. Carson, the guy who played young Kratos in Ghost of Sparta, was back. They got They got the guy who played Robin from Teen Titans Go to play Deimos. What a choice that was. What a goddamn choice. He probably had like a steep price. So I think most of the budget might have gone into the voice actors, because like the game itself, I just don't see how it could have been that expensive. Like it didn't seem that, you know, $1 million. I don't know. I don't think $1 million is. I mean, it would be nice to know. It would be nice to know exactly how much it was. You know. Yeah, Robin from the original Teen Titans. I think so. I think it was the guy. Yeah. You can look it up. Also, Silksong DLC drops this year too. Can't wait. Yeah, I want to see that. I loved Silksong. There was some areas that were giving me a pain in the ass, but overall I liked it as a Metroidvania. It was a really good one, you know. Yeah, he also voiced Robin in the OG. That's what I said. That's what you did. Flasher didn't know that. Are you, bro? Did he not sound like you? Did he not sound like Robin to you? I don't even watch Teen Titans. I'm like, that guy sounds familiar. Console gaming is better than PC because it's affordable. Not anymore. Not anymore, blood. Hey, Golden, member for 58 months, bro. Let's make it to 100. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Wait, let me get some water here. I have talked myself out. I am so tired. I'm so sleepy now. I'm so sleepy. What lore implications do you think there are, since some sources are saying that Faye game will have Chinese and Japanese mythos linked to tier? Well, the thing is that I forgot to like screenshot this, but in the art book, not the art book, the God of War cookbook, it mentions how Tyr went to China, and he talks about some gods there, like one god that wears a green robe. He also talks about like a bloodthirsty Mayan god who cooks its enemies over a fire pit or something. And it's like it's interesting that it's not like I might have been dropping little hints everywhere. I don't know what the lore implications are. We know from here, I'll pull it up. Wait, I gotta hide it. We know from God of War Ragnarok and the mask that the higher plane of existence is somehow connected to, there we go, here. Is somehow connected to, hold on a second, give me a sec, because I don't want to spoil my next video. I'm notorious for doing that shit. Yeah, we know from the mask in God of War Ragnarok that the higher plane of existence has some connections to other mythologies. That's why you have Egyptian here again, Greek. I don't know what this is. I think that might be Chinese. Is that Chinese? Is it Mandarin? Should I say Mandarin? I don't know what it is. So it's got multiple mythologies. I just don't know what the implications for the story is. A lot of this has to do with Athena and what her real role is going to be. And again, that's probably what I'm going to be talking about. Not probably. I'm not going to be talking about Athena's role in the next video, but I will be talking about the robed character that she's talking with in the cutscene that Morse discovers. So again, there's a lot of things that they can do with it. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what they're planning. It seems like Kratos himself is not going to be traveling to multiple mythologies, at least not for now. It's what I said in that way my theory came right. That which one was it? The Egypt one, the one that really blew up. It's become one of my watched videos, actually. Captain Kuba. I know I'm there. I don't care. Okay, I'm a boomer like that. But where is it? I lost it. Here in this video, yeah. The problem with God of War Egypt that no one talks about. I kind of pointed out that it doesn't really make sense for Kratos to go to Egypt, right? And that it might have been a prequel. I was wrong about I was wrong about the aspect that it was going to be a prequel about Kratos. The new rumors is that it's going to be a prequel about Faye. So I'm like, that's interesting that she's going to be like hopping in between like mythologies and like pantheon. So that could work. I don't know what the point of it is going to be. And again, I'm afraid with the guy who made that Reddit post. It's like I'm afraid that they're going to cram all of this in and it's not going to be a good payoff, you know. I hope it does, you know. Fun fact, Lucifer and Morningstar is canonically part of the DC universe. Did not know that. Something I could see is other mythologies coming to the North realms. That was my idea. I think I mentioned that in the Egyptian video as well, that it just makes more sense. That's because Kratos right now is in a protector role. He's protecting the Norse lands. He's a better person now, and he's not just for himself and his kid. He's for the humans. He's like no, I'm protecting you guys. and that was what Valhalla was all about. Him coming to officially accept that role, you know. So from Kratos' standpoint, it makes more sense for him to be in that protector role and like having to defend the land from incoming pantheons that might want to attack him, right? I think that makes more sense, but I also know that they can't keep him in the Norselands forever, right? But with the Faye game, it's possible that by them going to Egypt, I think this is Celtic mythology, Japan and Greece, like they're Faye and Tyr are setting things in motion, so that much like Faye marked the tree, so that Kratos would cut it and it would like send them out on the adventure. Maybe they're doing things in these pantheons that would get them to come to the Norse lands, and maybe Faye has deemed that it's important for Kratos to have this conflict with other pantheons, right? I don't know what Faye's plan is. I don't know what Faye's plan is. I actually think that we might be seeing some hints that the real adversary to Athena is not Kratos so much as it is Faye, because in Athena and God of War Fallen God, Athena and Thoth, the message that they tell Kratos constantly is like, it is written. You can't do anything but do what it's already written. You're going to do this one way or another. You have no free will, right? Whereas the message that Faye tells Kratos in Ragnarok is the opposite, where it's like, no. You can write your own destiny. So we're probably seeing that Faye and Athena are kind of like at war with each other. And it's like, that's an interesting concept. That's an interesting concept, because one thing about the Faye rumor is that people say like, I don't want to play as Faye because she's dead, her story's over. Like, I don't think so. I think there might be more to Faye's story. There's little hints in God of War Ragnarok that Faye is not completely out of the picture yet. You know, when Atreus goes unconscious and he sees Faye, and Kratos looking back at the light suspiciously, like, there's something going on with Faye. There's something going on with Faye that we don't know. And it'd be interesting if she's somehow tied to Athena. You know, it'd be interesting. So Kuba, how did the feet picture get into your slideshow? You guys know that I can't really, I will have to like look for it now. But I took it in God of War Ragnarok when she's getting on the Kelpie on the lake. I've always had it, you know. Since the Faye game could touch on Faye's conflict with the Aesir, story-wise, would the Chinese, Japanese pantheons be involved in the Norse affairs? I don't know. And it also brings into question Odin as a character. Like, what are they going to do with Odin here? Odin is very much active during this time, I'm assuming, right? And he's obsessed with the mask that has all of these languages from multiple pantheons, right? So, but he only has a piece according to what but this thing, according to what Odin says. What is Odin not telling us? There might be some more stuff with it. And you also have the Raven. Watch my video if you haven't, but the whole thing with the Raven is like, it seems like it's hinting that Odin is not fully out of the picture either. So it's like, I don't know what the hell is going on. And that's the part that's keeping me going forward. Like, I'm excited. I want to learn why Faye and Tyr have to travel to all of these pantheons. I want to know what the reason is for that, you know? Oh, watch the video I sent you, Justice League. Yeah, hold on, let me pull it up. Pull it up, Jamie. You have the timestamp, right? Let me see. Excuse me. A presentation. Damn, I feel like I'm in high school again. At least this time it'll actually be paying attention. Good, King Scorp. I think he left already. Did you say, Morse? What's the timestamp for the video? Getting an ad. Odin was a hero confirmed. I'm not saying that. I gotta get YouTube Premium or something here. Another one. Okay. Odin was a, no, I read that. No. Blitzwing says, what if Faye all this time is inside the axe? Oh yeah, hold on, let me hit like, let me show that. Hold on. He said, oh, he sent it with the nice. That's so nice of Morse. That's so nice. He says, what if Faye all this time is inside the axe, like the knife from Loki that used it to Fenrir, since her her soul isn't there when Angrboda gave him the ball of Faye and once. Okay, I'm not sure about all that. But I do know that some months after God of War 2018 release, there was a guy who apparently went to Santa Monica studio and and someone there told him that the reason the axe returns to Kratos is because someone's soul is in there. Someone's soul from Kratos' past is inside the axe, and honestly, it just makes sense for it to be Faye. Like, who else's soul is gonna be in it? And now we're talking about where is it? Where's Merlin? Now we're talking about this. If this rumor is true that Merlin is inside the sword, what about Thor's Mjolnir that he talks to? Are we seeing, like, once again, little hints? This is the thing that makes me look. I'm someone who likes the Greek saga way more than the Norse saga. I just have more fun with it. But on the side of the story and the world building, the Norse saga and what Corey created with 2018, it's just more fun. It's just more fun because it creates all of these questions, and I can see that Corey is like hiding little things, and like, oh, you see this? It seems like completely, I don't know what the word is, but unassuming little thing that doesn't mean anything, right? It does. It does mean anything because he's planning something for the future, and we're seeing this with this. We're seeing it with this. I'm like, what? Oh, that's the Faye game. That's the Faye game. So we're seeing little things. I was like, what's up with Merlin? What's up? How many times have I opened it? What's up with Merlin? If it's true, is it possible Faye learned the whole like soul magic thing from Merlin, and the whole axe, the soul in the axe thing, is true still because she learned it from Merlin and she was able to put herself in. To be honest, I don't know about the axe soul thing. Like, that just might be like a retcon at this point. But anyway, let's watch the thing Norse sent me. Let's see. The Faye game is gonna end with you backing out into the higher plane, and you wake up and it's literally Skyrim opening intro. Corey told me, bro. So you're awake now, huh? 10 out of 10 intro right there. Yeah, I do think it's interesting. I think you're gonna like my, not you, I think everybody's gonna like my next video, because Santa Monica was so close. Santa Monica was so close in opening up the whole thing with the higher plane of existence by having that cutscene at the end of God of War Ragnarok, but they cut it. For whatever reason, it got cut from the game. It's like, why? What? Why? There might have been something with the Atreus game, but anyway, let's see. It's muted? Oh, hold on a second, guys. My bad. Oh, my bad. It's totally muted. Hold on a second. I got you guys. I got you. Let me go back a little bit. I went back too far.
I think that's the fertile ground for character growth.
There's the one scene later on in the game where you find that missing piece from that ruin.
I muted the music.
Atreus was reading it, and there's like, oh, there's a piece missing, and then it's the one depicting, I think, Tyr in the middle of. It's like the Greek symbol for, it's like the Omega something for war or whatever. So we were theorizing basically, like, is that kind of, like you said, like Norse was the first mythology you want to go to, but then you also see the Triskelion, and then you see the Eye of Horus. I might be butchering which these are. Is that an intent maybe down the road to build a larger universe outside of just Greek and Norse?
There is a connection to that. Its first goal was to show how Tyr connected to all of these other mythologies. Tyr was kind of the first god of war within the Norse realm. Kind of got screwed over by the gods, right? And sort of pushed aside, and Odin kind of took over.
What does he mean by that? That's another thing that I have to cover eventually. Is like, Tyr was the first god of war, and he got pushed aside by the Aesir gods, and Odin took over. What does that imply? What does that imply? To me, that implies that Tyr was like the king of the gods of the Norselands until Odin came. Where did Odin come from? Is there a mystery to like the origin stories of the Norselands? It's so interesting. It's so interesting what goes on in Corey's mind that I want to peer into it. I want to put on the mask and look through the rift that is Corey's mind and see what's in there, what he's thinking, you know? Wait, when does Thor talk to his hammer? I don't remember. I was in Ragnarok somewhere. I think Mimir says, like, you don't want to be the guy who talks to his sword or something, referring to Thor. I forgot. Morse is my my go-to Google search guy. Who says that in Ragnarok? I forgot. I haven't played Ragnarok in a while. Yeah, Tyr comes from T-was and literally means God. Yeah, like from a language perspective, Tyr. The name Tyr is derived from Zeus, believe it or not, or some shit like that. Like he's like the true god or something, and it kind of spreads culturally. But they all like make their own stories with him. And Corey, in a way, is canonizing that with the God of War games, but in a different way, you know, which is what I like, you know. I once saw a theory online that the spirit of I don't know how to say that, Gifjon, whom Odin met in order to obtain the mask, was Athena. I don't remember that at all. The spirit of Gifjon, whom Odin met in order to obtain the mask. I don't remember that part at all. I remember him getting the mask, but he only obtained like a piece of it, but he didn't meet anyone, right? I don't remember. I don't remember that part at all. You can clarify that, you know. My grandparents' name, my grandpa's name is Thor, so I'm low-key a demigod. Well, there you go, man. There you go. Nepotism. All right, let's keep going.
In that respect, and right, and sort of pushed aside, and Odin kind of took over in that respect, and we portrayed him as this interesting kind of like the more beloved god, the god who actually connected to other mythologies, other cultures, and was trying to unify and bring them together, but the kind of rabble-rousers of the Aesirs sort of ruined that. And there's these references in the mythology of actually having certain characters actually reference or interact with, say, the Roman gods, which I thought was always fascinating. That I don't know if it's simply a later translation, or even when the Christians started to move Norse mythology to away from paganism and more towards Christianity, that maybe they had folded some of these things in. But I always love the idea that on the planet, you know, since the beginning of time, all these cultures are having their origin stories, right? And geography is separating all of them so that concurrently all these mythologies are going on, right? There isn't one that says, this is how everything was. It was, this is how this culture was brought up, and this culture was brought up in this way, and who knows if they were too.
See, to me that sounds like each mythology is gonna have, like, I'll play this in the meantime. Is that Merlin? Wow, man, they do really listen to you. It sounds like each mythology was gonna have like its own origin story. What I don't like about how God of War, the universe is kind of set up now, is that they're bubble universes. That once you get into that geographical region, like they have their own origin story, and like you can't have that. Like Corey has such a good idea that it's like, yeah, Tyr and Faye traveling to these things kind of like give birth to these like mythologies in a way, right? But it means that you can't have like giant beings creating that universe. Corey wants to have his cake and eat it too. And it's like, I think it would have been better if he fully committed to just... I love the idea that idea of Kratos jumps from the Greek realm to the Norse realm, and he brings Loki into life. So a god from another land is responsible in the events of another. I love that shit, but I wish that same thing would have happened for the origin stories of mythology. So instead of like, yeah, the primordials are real, Ymir is real, all of these like crazy creation stories are all of them real at the same time. I'm like, wouldn't it have been cool if they're like mythologies themselves within this mythological world, where it's like, yeah, it was actually giants, but actually no, it was this guy that came from another land, and he brought this giant with him. And I think that has more potential, you know. And I don't know if it's gonna get retconned, because I'll eventually have to make a video about this, because Morse has also put some things together that maybe the Vanir gods came from somewhere else. And I'm gonna have to talk to him about it, because I kind of forgot the theory. A lot of time has passed since he mentioned that theory to me, but I thought it was really interesting. Anyway, the 76th Doctor says, since Merlin from Arthurian legends is supposedly in the sword and Mimir being Puck from a Midsummer Night Dream, could Lovecraftian tales be canon to God of War? Kratos versus Cthulhu would be sick as hell. I mean, look, I had a similar idea where maybe the demiurge from Gnosticism could play a role into the story of God of War. But these days I'm not sure if I believe that theory. And Cthulhu is like, it's kind of weird, because that is kind of its own story. Corey has said that Christianity is and Judaism is part of like the world to some extent. I don't know exactly what he means by that. So why not Lovecraftian as well? I have no problem with that. It's just that Cthulhu seems to be like such a... It's a cosmic being, right? It's not like your typical mythological god like Zeus or Odin. At least he doesn't come across to me that way, right? So it would be interesting if that's like a higher being or something. But I just think that Athena is like the big one right now. It's the big one right now, you know? So I don't know. Should I send you the video I'm talking about? I don't allow links on the chat here for obvious reasons, because people might send some sketchy stuff, you know. But you can tell me the name of the video and we'll look it up, you know. I bet it's really hard to world build all this. Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, I bet it is. And let's keep listening to it.
Crisscross and have some crazy Norse and Egyptian and Mayan Justice League of people.
Speaking of creation stories, I like that Freya's house is on the back of a turtle. Is that Native American myth kind of coming into it? Maybe that's what I first thought.
Well, that's cool. Actually, I would love to say, oh, that's totally what we're doing there. But when we talked about the design of her house, I had said, look, I want to do something really cool here. I want when you go to Sanctuary Grove to feel.
Did he say that part about the Justice League of Gods? Did he say that part already? I might have missed it already. I don't know. I just remember about the Skull and Hati thing. Why did the Giants put them in Vanaheim? Was it Freya? Was it Faye? Because I guess because of the prophecy of Loki. But it's interesting. It's also weird because I also thought that it could have been Faye, but I don't think it is, because like both figures that free Skull and Hati seem to be male. One of them has a dress looking thing, but it also has what it looks like to be a beard, and Faye canonically does not have a beard, you know. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what's up with that. So I also had the same idea, but I don't think there's, because of how it's depicted on the mural, I don't know if it's true though. You know, I would love that, you know. I just replayed 2018. I need to watch all of Corey's interview again. Yeah, they kind of tend to like blend in with each other too much. Like Corey has said similar things in different podcasts, and it's just, I have like a vague memory of them, but it would be nice to do like a full-on refresher of the whole topic again, you know. But again, like I said, it's exciting. I'm excited for it. I'm down to see if this pays off, you know. I'm down to see if it pays off. Thanatos was greatest before time and the universe were a thing. He waged wars and death on others. Yep. Yeah, I mean he was one of the primordials, right? Yeah. Tyr was already in prison when they were freed, though. Ah. I forgot how you get there, though. I forgot, because I mean, that's the other thing. You have to take into account lore and legends, but also things that Mimir says in passing in Ragnarok, to like create this timeline. It would be nice. That would be like a nice project to like create like a nice tight. That would honestly be like a very important like project that the God of War community or me or anyone could tackle. Like make like a really detailed like timeline of events. That would be nice. It would be useful at least, you know. Corey hangs a lot in Luke Stevens streams. Wonder why? Corey don't love me. Corey don't love me because I complain about not being able to jump. And because they hired Teen Titans Go Robin to play Demos. He doesn't love me, but he loves Steven. He loves Steven because Steven loves that kind of shit, you know. But hey. I'm a God of War fan first before I'm a fan of Corey Barlock. Which is kind of hand in hand. It's just the same thing, you know. But yeah, I do know that he hangs out with Steven. I think it's because Steven covers a lot of like video game topics. Me, I'm like laser focused on one point, and Corey's probably like just fucking tired of like talking about God of War sometimes and just wants to talk about gaming. So Steven is more like a general thing. He talks about all sorts of things, you know. Hire yourself into Santa Monica already? How would that even work? How would that even work? I would be so annoying, bro. I don't think they would want to work with me, you know. I kind of have a timeline in my mind. I'm just lazy to actually make it graphically. Yeah. A fleshed out timeline would be great, but there's some gaps like when the Dwarven Rebellion happened, etc. Yeah, you're still gonna have some mysteries, but I think it was Morse himself as well who, I forgot what the reasoning was. I forget how. Again, like there's ways to deduce this kind of stuff, but I always forget how he does it. But I think Morse brought up a good point of how long Kratos was wandering the Earth before he got to Scandinavia, and it has something to do with Tyr's temple sinking, because we see that some Greeks made it into Scandinavia. So I forget exactly how he calculated it, but it's just like 150 years or something like that. If Morse can explain that again, like, that'd be great, but I don't know if he wants to. You know, again, there's a lot of things to gotta talk about, but right now I'm kind of focusing on big ticket items, you know. But yeah, like, it would be nice to have like a more fully fledged out timeline. But like Chronicler said, like, there's still a lot of gaps that we don't know, and I think it's possible that this Faye game might fill some of those gaps. But you know, Lovecraftian myth could also explain a lot of things, like Thor's mysterious drinking pail, which is described as a similar way to an existing Lovecraftian. It's something to, you know what? They made fun of me for that video. I made a video about Thor's mysterious drinking. I'm never gonna forget that. Thor drinking companion. Yeah, this thing. I'm the only one who made a video about this, and people in the comments told me that I was overthinking it, and it was a reference to Doctor Strange, because Thor is drinking with I forgot what the reasoning was, but I'm like, are you guys sure? Are you guys sure this was a reference to Doctor Strange? It didn't really come across as that. But yeah, he has like a strange drinking buddy, right? Don't watch this video. This video is kind of shit. I link it somehow to Japanese mythology. Like, I don't know how I got there. This video is kind of shit. But at least I gave it. I put importance into it, as in like, okay, this is important. Like, this seems like a tease of some kind. But people told me that it was just like a Doctor Strange reference. Like, I don't see how. I don't see how. No. Now that video is goated. I don't even remember what I say in that video. I think I do tie it to Japanese mythology with the Onis or something. I forgot what it was. But yeah, who said that? The 76th Doctor? Yeah, why not? What if that becomes a Lovecraftian being? Why not? You know, I'm okay with that. Wukong versus Kratos would be a tie. Oh, that's honestly like interesting now that you mentioned that. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, if they go to Japan, if they go to China, as the rumors seem to indicate, it's very likely that Wukong is going to be Wukong. I think it's the most recognizable Chinese god, at least on the West here in America and Canada and Europe. You know, like I can't right now name another god to you from China. But I know the Monkey King. I know the Monkey King because we all played Wukong, Black Myth Wukong. I forgot the name for a sec. So yeah, and he's like super OP. Like, he's one of the most recognizable mythological figures. So I can definitely see that. I can see that. But again, it wouldn't be Kratos fighting him. It would be Tyr or Faye in this case. You know. Yeah. Hey, off topic. When the remakes get closer, or when we see footage of the remakes, we should watch the behind the scenes for all 3 games in preparation when they come closer. I'm down for that. I still wonder who Thor's strange drinking companion could be. Just a Faye in disguise, though? I don't know about that. I don't think so. Why would they call Faye strange? And there was also a thing that Freya said in the crater that, oh yeah, I know who Faye is. She had unique gloves. Or something like that. I think I also made a video about that. Why gloves? Why is that a thing? That also seems like a hint of some kind. Like, is that a weapon that Faye had? Like gauntlets or something? I don't know, man. Well, let me read that. Oh, shit. Since you finished DMC Devil May Cry, guess what? The story producer or director of DMC Devil May Cry is working on the Elden Ring movie. Yes, I don't know if that's good. I do know that the Elden Ring movie is being made by the studio 824, the producers. I forget. They're like a fancy indie studio that makes like really good movies. So there's some hope there, but I don't know about the story from DMC Devil May Cry. That was kind of meh, you know. What if Thor's hammer soul is Lanarxa, since it's his first wife, and then Sif? Then it would be cool seeing Kratos has Faye in the axe and Thor has his wife too. It would be cool. I will tell you though, I will tell you though, like this whole thing of like Santa Monica wanting to make an MCU type of storytelling for the God of War series. Excuse me. I've been talking too much and I get filled up with air. I'm sorry. It's gotta come out. I wonder if like after we learn that, and I look at the whole thing with Thrud and God of War Ragnarok, how the story ends, her picking up the hammer and just flying away. I wonder if that's Santa Monica's way of being like, hey, there might be a Thrud game later on, because we know that you wanted to play with Mjolnir in God of War Ragnarok, but we couldn't do it for story reasons. So, why don't you play? I'm curious. Would you be down to play a Thrud game, as long as she has the hammer? Like, would that be something you're okay with? I'm not sure. I'm personally not sure. I didn't really like Thrud that much, so there's not like it's not like I'm dying to it. But again, from a gameplay perspective, it could potentially be fun, you know. Video title: Undeniable evidence. Athena gave Odin the mask finally revealed. What video is that? I mean, that's a good title. I suck at making titles for videos, bro. I think that's part of the reasons why my videos don't really blow up that much. But that's a good title. I would click on that title. I gotta be more bold and just say like undeniable evidence, even though it's not undeniable. But I gotta say it, you know. Hold on. Chronicle said Faye's gloves. So I missed it. Yeah, Faye's gloves make me think of Thor's gloves in the myth. Oh yeah, he does have gloves. Yeah. He also has a belt. Yeah. In Ragnarok, I really wanted to fight Thor while he was riding his goat chariot. I remember that, and I think that was an idea. Jacksepticeye is making a Bloodborne movie. Also, yeah, I don't know about that. I get that he's a fan, but is it gonna be faithful? Is it gonna be like a good movie? How much of a fan is he? Like, is he like Vati, that he like, you know, breathes and eats Bloodborne? Like, is he like? I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is. I'm wishing the best for him. Hell no, hell nah. Mustard all the way. All right, so Santa Monica, if you're listening, people do not want a Thrud game. There you go. So somehow kill Thrud and let maybe Atreus get the hammer. How about that? That's a trade-off. We kill off Thrud, okay? We sacrifice it for the good of the God of War series because no one likes her, okay? We kill Thrud off, and then Atreus somehow finds her body. It's like, no, my childhood friend. I will make them pay. And he picks up the hammer. I know that Atreus is kind of a hard sell, but what if Atreus has Mjolnir? Would you be down for that? Would you be down for that? It's a good question. It's a good question, you know. Mustard. Thrud loses the hammer and it falls on Atreus' head. Kratos' god is like, kill Atreus so Kratos can be mad again. Kratos' god is pushing it for. He's like, no, kill Thrud, then kill Atreus, and then Kratos gets the hammer. Essentially. I mean, Mark did a best-selling video game movie. So who's Mark? Oh, Markiplier. Yeah, but I heard that the story wasn't that good. It was decent. I don't know. I shouldn't say. I haven't played the game nor watched the movie. I don't feel comfortable talking about Markiplier's submarine movie. I forgot what it was called. But I know it sold well, but I don't know if it's a good video game adaptation, if that makes any sense, you know. What if Thrud works with Loki in the new game Older? Something like that probably is going to happen. Something like that. And I know that Loki or Atreus has the Angrabodas marble, which allows them to visit each other more instantly, right? So that's also a factor that we haven't. But look, the whole thing with Atreus game is also very interesting. Iron Lung, thank you. Yeah, the whole thing with the Atreus game is really interesting because we know for a fact that Blue Point Games was working on it, and that game got canceled. So I just don't know. I don't know what Santa Monica is really working on right now. The Faye game seems to be like a safe bet at this point. Like there's two similar to the Metroidvania. There's too much talk about it for it not to have some aspects that are real, you know. I just don't know to what extent. So there's that, you know. I'm still open to the Atreus game. I'm still open to it. I just don't know how good it'll be, you know. So we agree the Norse Saga isn't 2 or 3 games, right? It's going well beyond that. Well, I don't know. The Ragnarok Saga is done. We should call it the Ragnarok Saga, but it seems like both Greece and Scandinavia will still play a role of some kind. Scandinavia is obvious because Kratos is still there, and I feel like there might still be something with Odin there, you know. And Greece, like, we get little hints, the rumors, and then the Fallen God comic where Kratos has to return home. And if my theory fuck, shut up, you didn't hear anything, you didn't hear anything, you know. Is there such a thing as a Norse saga anymore? I don't think so. That's what Earfan is pointing out, was like, it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't really make any sense, because it's just, it seems like they're just focused on continuing the story without sagas, but it's more like, what's the next game that's needed, you know, instead of like, okay, we gotta do 3 Egyptian games, right? So it is going to be sad in a way if like this is like the only time we get to see Egypt or any of these like lands, like that Reddit guy said, where it's like, yeah, I kind of want them to like delve deeper into it, right? But maybe Corey's more focused on like the whole overarching story of God of War, instead of just telling you it's time for Egyptian time. It's time, because then it starts to feel more like Assassin's Creed instead of God of War. So I have faith. I have my questions, and I would like to see what it would look like. But look, given the fact that since 2018 we see this image here, and since 2018 Corey has been talking about like, yeah, the story of what happened before and like what Faye was doing, it's a good sign that it's still going. At least a good chunk of it is still going to plan. Some things might have been changed here and there, but it's a good sign that, you know, Corey's plan is still in motion, right? So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, you know. Yeah, they could use Lovecraftian myth as an addition to the higher plane. Lovecraft myth has something called the outer gods who are behind things like Cthulhu. Could Athena, Thoth, Thor be part of it? Yeah, I don't know. With these things is always a possibility. I'm just curious to know what like the end goal is. Like what's Athena planning now? Because that might need some retcon as well. Why did she need the power of hope in God of War 3? Why couldn't she get it herself? Isn't she more powerful now? There's so many questions. There's so many questions, and I'm hoping that this fake game starts to answer them. You know, it's funny. I've been talking for 2 hours. It's 2 hours. When did I start? I forgot when I started. We've done for a couple hours now, and I haven't mentioned a single time the horn, the mystery of the horn. Like it's like we've kind of forgotten about that, and maybe that's what Cory Barlog wants. Maybe he wants us to forget so that when we see it, like, oh my God, it's the horn! Like Faye was behind it all. But again, we go back to this whole thing of like, we don't want to. I think it'll be too. Story would be too bloated if we get jumping in between mythologies, time travel, the horn. It's too many things, you know. And again, this is again a franchise that Santa Monica is building. It's not just a one-off game with Faye. Oh my God! Is that the real Cory Barlog? Is that the wait? How does that work? Wait. The math ain't mathing here. Wait. The math ain't. Why is there 2 of them? Go to channel. That's not him. That's not him. Hold on, guys. I don't think that's him. Hold on a second. Nah. He doesn't have the video of him reacting to the review of God of War 2018. Calm down. I don't think it's him. Is it him? God damn it. That's the thing. Corey is kind of an unreliable narrator in a way. Like, he's such a troll. What if he made a fake account with the same image of the real Cory Barlog and it really is him? Now I really don't know. Now, why is there 2 of them? Why did he get 2 memberships? If you're not Corey and you're a troll, congratulations. It worked, man. It worked. And if you're Corey and you're still a troll, congratulations. It worked regardless, you know. Clickbait successful. I don't think it's fake. Sorry, bro. It is fake. I'm telling you. Corey only likes Luke Steven, man. That's his go-to YouTuber. Poor little Captain Kuba. Poor little me. You know? I can't get a random pop-in by Cory Barlog. It makes me sad, man. It makes me sad. You know what's funny? Kona my wife has more success and somehow talking to like higher ups in game studios. She made a post on Twitter the other day about like, oh yeah, my husband is really getting into Legacy of Kain. Should he play Blood Omen 1 or should he go, or should he go straight into Legacy of Kain Defiance, right? And she got a couple of comments, and one of them was by the director of the remasters, and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe the director replied to me." And I think that happened to her before with David Jaffe. She was live streaming God of War 1, and David Jaffe was like, "I'm showing up to your live stream." So, yeah, he'd never joined a rumor stream. LOL. Yeah, he never. Yeah. Yeah, I was being too hopeful, but hey, whoever you are, thank you for the 2 memberships. Okay, I appreciate it, man. That is real, Corey. Who is? Here's a tip: look at the feet of Freya. He just wants to see like that feet picking in. I don't even know if I have it. Oh, hold on a second. I wonder if that's gonna get me in trouble with YouTube, because does that count as like explicit content at this point? I do it as a joke, the whole feet thing, but I know for a fact that oh check out, yeah, oh more hold on, we're taking a small deviation here, hold on. So Morse sent me a couple of pictures that prove that the Faye tapestry is actually Faye, because she's wearing the same dress that she is. You see that? It's the same one as hold on, where is it? That's how he proves it. Yeah, I forgot. Where is it? Faye. Where is it? Yeah, see, she's wearing the same dress here that she does in the thing Morse showed me. See, same thing. Oh, it was right here. Yeah. So anyway, let me get the Freya's foot pick again. Okay, give me a sec. I must feed my children. They desire face feet. Where is it? I forgot what it was. I forgot it was 9 or 8? What number did I have for it? Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, I'm getting... Oh, never mind, that one's right there. I'm getting you guys Freya's foot pick, okay? Here's a spoiler. Faye dies in the end. Well, there you go. Now we know for sure that that's the real Cory Barlog. It would be so funny if it's still Cory, bro. It would be so funny if he's just trolling us right now. You never know with him. You never know with him. Where is it? I keep getting things lost here. Yeah, there you go. Just for you. This is what I do for you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice. I'm gonna have this as like my screen wallpaper here, my computer wallpaper. Imagine Cory comes to the stream when Faye's feet is on the big screen. Hey, it's Freya. Get it right at least, okay? Spoiler: Kratos is the god of war. You got it, Morse. You got it, man. A dude playing a dude. This guy's another dude. Yeah, I feel like after this, Santa Monica can't really have any more like barefooted characters, especially females. Like I feel like it's too much, you know. Kelpie balls shrinkage. Oh my god! You know, I was so focused on Freya's foot that I didn't even know about the shrinkage going on here. I mean, do it. I mean, yeah. That's what happens when the Kelpie move to a pretty cold environment, you know. Anyway, guys, what's going on here? He was like, I'll have to deal with that later. It has been fun, you guys, but I think I'm gonna be bringing this to an end. I've talked for way too long. It's been a yapping stream pretty much, you know. It has been fun. It's funny, I shouldn't do this right after seeing Freya's foot, because people are gonna think there's a reason why I'm leaving a little bit early, you know. Odin is disguised as Cory. Like Tyr. Never understood the foot fetish thing. Hey man, some people are into it. Some people are into certain things, and you'll never get it, you know. And that makes me sound like I'm defending them. And it's not that that I shouldn't defend them. It's fine. It's whatever rocks their boat, man. Whatever happens, you know. Don't get shy. Shy with what? I'm just tired, man. Admit it and move on. The foot thing. Kuba's going straight to the bathroom. Kuba, wait, Freya. We like Freya's feet. My dad likes feet. Lol. He admitted it. I should maybe stop with that, like that whole foot joke thing, because I feel like there might be people who are actually like just having a little bit extra fun on the other side watching this, you know. And I don't want to be in the corner of the screen while you're doing that, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna ruin it for you. I'm ruining it for whoever's having fun with this. Picture this whenever you're thinking of Freya's foot, okay? You leave Freya's foot alone, okay? We need Sif's feet. Oh man, that'd be the trifecta, you know. But anyway, it has been fun. How long have I been streaming for? 2 hours. It hasn't been that long, but given that I've just pretty much talked nonstop, I'm just tired. I'm just tired now, and I need to get a little nappy. What if Kratos has a Toronto accent? Hey, bring me in, you know? You want a Toronto/Cuban accent? I'm your guy, man. I mean, you got like a southern girl to play Lunda. Why not a Cuban guy? I'm from the Cuban mythology. How about that, you know? Flasher just finished. What did Flasher say? They're having more fun now with the face I made. Unfortunately, Sif wears boots. Hey, you can't have it all, okay? You can either have the voluptuous, is that the word? The curvy look, but no feet, or the feet with the more skinny look, you know? You can't have both. It's just how it is, you know? Keep going, receding hairline. It's almost done. Guys, it's been fun. Like I said, like these things, these streams are only fun when like there's stuff to talk about. Even if it is like super outlandish rumors, like there's going to be a green cube in the Faye game. Even if it's crazy like that, I still have a lot of fun, you know. Like I said before, I edited not the Faye video, the robed figure video that should be out for members this Saturday. And I also recorded a talk with Under the Mayo. We talked about a lot of like design choices that Santa Monica could do in the remake. Like we talked about the state of the God of War saga. So it should be fun for some people. I feel like some Norse fans might hate the talk, but hey, you know what? I don't hide it. I like the Greek saga way more. I don't hide it, but it's nice like getting to talk to Mayo because like he knows more about like game design than I do, and like he came up with some really cool ideas for how they could improve the Greek saga in the remakes. You know, whether Santa Monica is gonna do that or not, I don't know. I don't know what decisions they're gonna take to tackle those games. You know, but I did record a talk with Mayo, so that's probably going to be next week. I don't know, because look, I do think the rumors about the state of play are true. They were just kind of a little bit too early. They jumped the gun. It's possible that next week we're going to get the state of play. And I should say, I'm not even sure if the Faye game is going to be there. We just got a pretty big God of War announcement a couple of months back in February. I don't think it'd be... I think it's too much of a wishful thinking to think that we're going to get another God of War announcement this close to the other one, right? But then again, Christopher Judge and everybody has been saying that this game will get announced in 2027, so 2026 I should say. So there's a possibility, but I don't know. Look, even if I don't know, I'm still gonna live stream the state of play, so I'm waiting to see if we get closer to the date and it becomes true. I'm hoping, you know. Did I record an interview with Mayo? I did, yeah. I did, yeah. To be honest, I don't know how I popped up. I bought 2 members for me. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know how you did it twice, because I noticed it's the same channel. That's some magic that you're gonna have to teach me how you did it, because I didn't even think you could buy 2 of them. But thank you, fake Corey Barlog. I appreciate it. Kuba, you were under the mayo. You were under the mayo. Nice. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you guys Saturday for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice Part 2. I'm having a lot of fun with that game. We're kicking ass. We're kicking ass in that game, and surprisingly doing stealth as well. It's a pretty good game. It's living up to. I already played it, but it's more fun than I remember. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Until then, remember, go forth in the name of Olympus. Bye.